Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another First Thoughts vlog. Now, First Thoughts is a series where I give my initial thoughts on a movie, book, or season of a TV series before my actual written review is out. And today, I'm going to be talking about Terminator Genisys. Now, I like Terminator Salvation. That's actually my favorite movie in the franchise. Send hate down below. Creepy ass face, but I've been keeping up with the news, like, before the first trailer got out. And once there was the major leak, I saw that. And so I've known about some of the behind the scenes shit that's just made me uneasy about the movie. Because the crap going behind the scenes, I was like, I really don't want to see this shit. And the trailers came out, and I was like, meh. It didn't really wow me. The only casting choice I really liked was Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor. I love her as Khaleesi. I saw her in, I believe the B-movie's name is Triassic Attack. And she did great with that material, and that was a fucking B-movie. So, I know that even if the movie was bad, she would turn out a wonderful performance. And I just think Arnold Schwarzenegger has just come and gone as the Terminator. It's just, the Terminator franchise does not need him. And so I went to see it today in IMAX 3D, which actually sort of gave me a migraine, but it was worth it. It was a Terminator movie. And my overall opinion is meh. It was very entertaining. One of the things I loved about it, it opens with Judgment Day. All those explosions, with, seeing the Judgment Day, it's like, okay, this is definitely starting off on a good foot. Even if the movie is crap, at least I have that one scene to go on. The Future War was good. And, again, I should say this at the beginning of these vlogs. I really should get in the habit, but this is going to be spoiler filled. But hey, the trailer ruined the reveal as well as the poster. Yay! But anyways, one of the things that I actually didn't mind was evil John Connor, the concept. Spoiler alert for the people keeping up with the Eternal Heart, my Terminator fanfic that will update sometime in the next century. There is going to be an evil John Connor plotline. I won't tell you when. Time travel is involved in the fic, of course, so you won't. So there's going to be an evil John Connor plot, and so I don't really consider him essential to the war against the machines. He just happened to be a leader that was great during one timeline, but he doesn't have to be. I think that the Resistance can survive without him. And so when there was an evil John plotline, I was like, okay, this seems sort of interesting, and he's made into a robot. And the effects for him were fucking awesome. And they killed off John Connor. And it's... well, she calls him Pops. The older version of the Terminator that rescued Sarah when she was younger, 9 years old. And so he keeps on bringing up, when Kyle Reese enters the picture, he's like, when are you going to mate with him? And I like to use the word jokingly, the word coitus for, fucking, just because it sounds so prim and proper. And so when they were saying me, I'm like, you mean coitus? You say coitus. I'm really sorry. And extremely immature, but Sarah Connor doesn't bring up to Kyle Reese, hey, we fuck, and John Connor's our kids. So he's sort of thrown right in. All this information is saying him that he fucks, Sarah Connor, that, John was manipulating him to fall in love with Sarah Connor, that that they had a son who was John Connor, who, the leader of the resistance, which Kyle highly admires, and now they're going to have to kill their son. And I was like, okay, just found out I had a son, and now I have to kill him. And one of the things I liked about this over the first Terminator movie, I didn't ever really like the relationship between Sarah and Kyle Reese there. Just because it was like, we hate each other, now we love each other. And it's like, you spend one night together, and it's the best night of your life that you can never forget, and he's your one fuck you. and so I like how the Sarah and Kyle relationship was in this movie, because it actually seemed much more natural. There was much more bickering. There were big hints that they really did like each other, but everything happened at a more natural pace. One of the things I was sort of aware of and sort of wary of was Kyle getting information from himself. And it was explained. Now, I love time travel. I love fiction where there's time travel. And so the explanation in the movie was that because Kyle Reese time traveled at a nexus, which was a point where shit changes, he now has memories of two different timelines. And I've read like a story or two where that has been the case. Again, with Animorphs. One of them was probably the fourth Megamorphs book, where the Animorphs are thrown into an alternate timeline where, they never became Animorphs, long story short. And so one member actually always has this sneaking suspicion that this is not how things are supposed to be. So Kyle Reese, having memories from himself, sort of was like that. And so I was like, okay, I've seen this before, I can buy it. And it was fun. There were problems. One of the problems I am putting on hold is why was who sent Arnold back in time? And the explanation in the movie was that we don't know, maybe the people that sent him back wanted to hide who they were so they won't get killed. Now, since this is supposed to be a trilogy, I'm going to just say, okay, I'll wait till the next part comes out to make a decision if they fulfill this plot line or if it's just fucking stupid at the end. And as with any series, each part needs to stand on its own as well as being a collective part of a whole. And so for me, this was enough for what this movie was. It was a nice, simple explanation. Don't worry about it. But again, if it turns out to be fucking stupid, I'm on hold with that. I'll get back to you if the other two parts of the trilogy get made. Because it's supposed to be a trilogy. Now, Terminator Salvation was supposed to be the start of a trilogy too. Sort of wish it was. I wanted more Star and Kyle moments. I would love, again, another one just set in the future. Yeah. But John Connor's nanobots were good. And Matt Smith did a good job. God damn it, I forget the Doctor Who episode, but there was like an evil version of himself, and so I knew he could do creepy. I knew he could get rid of that boyish grin that, you know, his Doctor was most famous for. So yeah, I knew he could go dark, and he did good for this movie. And my fiance, Rev Resner, wasn't too impressed, but again, he pointed out that Matt Smith isn't in the movie a lot. And before I end this, I want to say I was not aware of this before I went, and there's a mid-credits, some accent, mid-credits scene. So, you know, once the credits start, wait for the mid-credits and go. I found it by accident. The reviews I watched didn't mention it, and they usually do, but it's something little, and once you see it, then go. So yeah. And if I'm having to tell you to do this, either you're going to see it again or you watch a spoiler-filled review not giving a shit. I don't know. Anyways, I have been Jashikins, owner at jashikins.blogspot.com, and, you know, just if you have any differing opinions on Terminator Genisys, feel free to give your opinions on it. Just trust me, I talk with a guy who has really adamant opinions against this movie, so I've probably heard worse than what you're going to say. But anyways, if you go to my blog, you can see vlog reviews like these. More Josh reads will be out later this week. Tomorrow I should release the next weekly updates. And if you go on my blog on the sidebar thingy, there are links to where else I'm on the web, and you can say hi. And the writing shop now links to my Fiverr account, and if you want some writing or editing done, you know, I'm your person. Hey. And for the link in the description, I'm going to be linking to my new Facebook page for my Flight Rising Dragons. The reason I'm doing this is there's trivia now and again, so if you want to test your nerd knowledge, go below, you know, click the linky. And mind you, you'll have to be a member of Flight Rising to actually get any prizes or participate, but, you know, you can, you know, it can be fun for you. All this nerdy stuff. Nerds are awesome. Hey. And until next video, goodbye.